If you get sick in Los Angeles, you may be more likely to undergo extra tests and have more health problems entered on your medical records. Why? A new study showed regions across the country where patients are more likely to be diagnosed with medical issues. We're calling this national or regional hypochondria. So a map was put together by MIT researchers. They show national trends in diagnostics, and it's quite remarkable how, based on where you live, your likelihood of being diagnosed is so much higher in some regions. Medical providers in the Northeast, the Deep South, as well as most of California, tend to diagnose their patients rather aggressively, whereas in the Midwest and Mountain West, among other areas, doctors tend to be less aggressive in diagnosing patients. And heck, there are certain cities where Medicare spending is double other metropolitan areas.
Yeah, but I think also if you looked at that map, that's also places where there are a much higher concentration of physicians and specifically specialists. So it's an interesting confluence of having more access to that care, people who know about these specialized tests. And many of those areas are more affluent, the people are more educated, they're more likely to go in and request testing, maybe be more proactive about their health care as well. So I think there's kind of two factors. There's the physician or the medical care aspect, but then there's also the patient aspect who might be seeking more care.
But what I think is interesting when you look at this data, for the most part, you don't see a major change in healthcare outcomes. The dirty secret in medicine is this: doctors don't get sued for overdiagnosing and overtreating. Doctors get paid more money, and but I don't blame doctors for this. This is, you know, doctors, if you all knew how much sleep doctors lost about worrying, oh my gosh, what if they did have this and I missed it? So much sleep is lost. And so in some communities, rather than maybe lose all that sleep, it's just, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and do all the tests. And it's not always for the best, but that's the mentality. You never.
Institutions penalize, though. Now the tide is shifting so that doctors cannot overdiagnose because the testing that they order comes back to bite them because they're only allowed like a budget per patient or per quarter. So
which could be, and the first thought when you hear that is, oh my gosh, rationed healthcare. But I think the most important takeaway here is that if you're an individual, you find a healthcare provider that you trust, that you have a relationship with, talk with them about your concerns, because we have this national hypochondria, and you know the other big player in this? That's cell phone. Less sex, more hypochondria.
Dr. Google, exactly.
More to come, everyone.